Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's meeting of the Committee of Adjustment. This meeting is to consider applications to minor variances and consent applications held under the authority of the Planning Act of Ontario. Please keep in mind the intent of this process is to review the proposal that is before us, listen to the evidence, and then make a decision. This process is not intended to be used to resolve any concerns or disputes that may exist between the town, individuals, or organizations. If a request for a deferral is made and the committee grants such a request, the committee, after consultation with the Secretary-Treasurer, will set a new hearing date. No further notice will be provided unless there are changes to the application. In order to conduct an effective and efficient hearing, we have adopted the following process. First, the owner or authorized agent will be given the opportunity, if so desired, to briefly explain to us the basis of the application and answer any questions that may arise out of the hearing. A maximum of 5 minutes will be provided for this presentation. You need to state your name and address for the record. Any materials submitted to the committee for viewing will remain the property of this committee. Any submissions beyond the 5 minutes will be at the discretion of the committee. All persons attending the hearing who wish to support or oppose the application must also state your full name and address for the record. A maximum of 5 minutes will be provided to make your presentation. All remarks and questions are to be directed to the chairperson of the committee. Any submissions beyond those 5 minutes will also be at the discretion of the committee. If there are several speakers sharing the same view, we ask that you select a spokesperson to present the group's opinion. We do want to hear everyone's views, however, covering the same points will not advance your case. The owner or agent will then be provided with a further 5 minutes to respond to comments made by any interested parties and answer any questions for the committee members. If the owner or agent has any concerns found in staff reports, particularly with any proposed conditions, this will be the opportunity to advise us. The matter will then be taken into committee for a decision, and this will mark the end of all discussions. Once the committee makes an oral decision, any person desiring a copy must file with the Secretary-Treasurer at the meeting a written request for notice of the decision. A green sheet is provided for this purpose. Please note that you must make a written request in order to be included on the list that is used by the local planning appeal tribunal for the giving of any subsequent notice of any appeal. Written notice of the committee's decision will then be mailed no later than 10 days for minor variances and 15 days for consent applications to the applicant, owner, agent, and any other person who has filed a written request for such a notice. If you do not agree with the committee's decision, you may appeal this to the local planning appeal tribunal, and this the last day for the appeal for the decision will be noted on the decision. If no appeal is received within the prescribed time frame, the decision of the committee becomes final and binding, and the Secretary-Treasurer will then notify the applicant through written correspondence. People attending the committee meeting are to be courteous and respectful of the members of the committee, the town staff, and other people in attendance tonight. Tonight's meeting will be video recorded and available for future viewing on the town's YouTube channel, and we ask that all cellular phones be maintained on silent or switched off during the meeting, as they do tend to interfere with the audio system. Thank you. So we have no regrets this evening. Are there any declarations of pecuniary interest? I see none. Thank you. Are there any requests for deferral or withdrawal of application at this time? Mr. Kieran, how are you?
I've been better.
You've been better?
I've been better. I've got a bit of a cold, so I don't have much of a voice. My apologies. We are going to request a deferral for item A in light of staff's comments to give us a chance to address those.
Very well, thank you. Is there anyone here for application CAV 155 of 2018? I see none. Very well. Mr. Kieran is requesting a deferral to deal with the variances that staff are not in support of. All those in favor of deferral? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Kieran. We've deferred your application, and you'll see the Secretary-Treasurer for a future date.
Yes, I will. Thank you.
Thank you. The next item on our agenda is CAV 156 of 2018 at 188 Gloucester Avenue.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Heather Sanders from 188 Gloucester Avenue, and I've read the planning staff comments in support of the application and don't have any issues with the proposed conditions.
Thank you, Ms. Sanders. Is there anyone here for application CAV 156 of 2018 at 188 Gloucester Avenue? Okay, I see none. You have time to present your application if you so choose. We've done our site visits and are aware of the application for this new story, two-story dwelling that you're proposing to construct. Are there any questions of Ms. Sanders at this time? I see none. Is there anything further you'd like to add? If you're satisfied with staff comments and conditions, we are prepared to take this matter into committee.
Okay.
Very well. Okay. Gentlemen, who would like to move a motion? Mr. Flemington, thank you.
Madam Chair, having conducted my site visit and reviewed the applicant's written submission, as well as the town's written staff report, which I do note is in support of, also having taken into account the comments from the applicant this evening, and that there were no written or oral objections from the public, I am prepared to make a motion in support of the application as submitted. It meets all the four tests under the Planning Act, and that the proposed dwelling be constructed in general accordance with the submitted site plan and elevations dated October 2018.
Thank you, Mr. Flemington. Is there a discussion on this recommendation? I see none. All those in support? Okay, the application has been approved. You were opposed? You were opposed. Mark is opposed. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, I voted yes. Thank you, Ms. Sanders. Okay, the last item on our agenda, deferred from November 6th of 2018, is application CV 146 at 1491 Burloak Drive. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Andre Zerda, 1491 Burloak Drive.
Good evening, Mr. Zerda. I'm assuming that's your wife. She's here with you, so there's no one else that I need to canvass the room for. Would you like to take us through the application? Do you have any comments? We've done our site visits. We're aware of the changes that you've made.
Yeah, we've been through the email that came through, and we're happy with the condition, so it's fine.
You're satisfied.
Yeah.
Thank you. Are there any questions of Mr. Izerda at this time? I see none. If you're satisfied with staff comments and conditions, then we are prepared to take the matter into committee.
Yes.
Okay. Who would like to move a motion? This is the application for the Breezeway. Mr. Charlebois, thank you.
Madam Chair, having conducted my site visit, reviewed the applicant's written submission as well as the town's written staff report, which I note that they're in support of this particular application, and also taking into account that there's been no objections or letters of support written, and there's been no oral objections or oral support from the public. I'm looking at this particular application under section 45(2) of the Planning Act, and I'm prepared to put forward a motion that it be accepted, finding it meets one of the criteria, which is essentially that it's similar to the current usage of the land, building, or structure. And I'm going to apologize here. You mentioned a condition, but oh, there it is, sorry. Subject to two conditions: that the proposed additions be constructed in general accordance with the submitted site plan and elevations by the applicant, and subject also to the condition that approval will expire 2 years from this date of this decision if a building permit has not been issued for the proposed construction, and in cases where a building permit is not required, that the proposed scope of work has not been fully completed.
Very well, thank you. Question on this recommendation? I see none. All those in support? Okay, the application has been approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
None opposed, no. Okay. We have minutes to confirm for November 20th. Who would like to move the minutes? Mr. Hardcastle moves the minutes. And motion to adjourn. Mr. Hardcastle, motion to adjourn. We are adjourned at 7:12.